Hi, I'm Renfield, and we're watching Transylvania tonight with Drac and Countess Carita. Well, we're not actually watching the show with Drac and Countess Carita. They're not here. They're doing the show. If we were watching the show with them, they'd be here, so there wouldn't be any show. We'd just be looking at a couple of empty chairs on the show, which in Drac's case might be a bit redundant, but we'll be watching Drac and Carita on Transylvania tonight together. Well, I guess that's not right either, because you're there and I'm here, so I can't be watching it with you because I'm not there. Which brings me to my next point. I told you I'd be leaving the Seward Sanitarium soon, but I'm still here because I took a look over the wall. It's a real horror show out there where you are, so I'll be staying here for a while. The sanitarium is safer and saner, so I'm going to go inside before the show starts and watch it with you. Well, I won't be watching it with you, but you know what I mean.
I'm Countess Carita, and welcome to Transylvania Tonight. You know we show a variety of films here on Transylvania Tonight. We've shown mysteries, thrillers, and even some comedies. But tonight's show is full of horrors. You know, people often ask me what horror is to me. Well, I did marry Drac, so I know all about horror. But seriously, one thing that comes to my mind is biting that old hippie dude in that coffee shop. Just thinking about it makes me feel radical. It makes me feel radical. I'm back. Did you miss me? Anyway, here's Drac.
Not even close to being live from the Borgo Pass, it's Transylvania Tonight with your hosts, that award-winning King of the Vampires, Drac, and Countess Carita, the darling of the undead. Join Drac and Carita for tonight's feature film, Bela Lugosi in The Devil Bat, and a special featurette with Buster Keaton, The Awakening. I'm Drac. She's Lolita, mistress of Kung Fu. No, she's just Carita. And welcome to Transylvania Tonight.
Groovy, ghoulies.
Now, as we've already told you, tonight's show is going to be all about horror. But just where do we find horror?
Well, if you want to find true horror, it's not in movies or books. It's actually all around us in real life.
Exactly. You know, what goes on in everyday life makes the horror in movies and books seem like fairy tales. And there's no better example of it than the short clip that we're going to show you right now. You know, one of the most respected intellects and artists of the late 19th and early 20th century was playwright George Bernard Shaw. He wrote that lovely play Pygmalion that was adapted into the musical My Fair Lady.
But his views on the world were pretty trippy, man.
Yeah, they were anything but fair, lady. Yeah. As you're going to see in this clip, George Bernard Shaw was a staunch proponent of eugenics.
Eugenics? More like genocide.
Exactly. So listen to what G.B. Shaw has to say in this clip. You talk about true horror. This is it.
I never know exactly how to make my opinion clear, because I object to all punishment whatsoever. I don't want to punish anybody. But there are an extraordinary number of people whom I want to kill. Not in any unkind or personal spirit, but it must be evident to all of you, you must all know half a dozen people at least, who are no use in this world, who are more trouble than they are worth. And I think it would be a good thing to make everybody come before a properly appointed board, just as he might come before the income tax commissioners, and say every 5 years or every 7 years, just put him there and say, sir or madam, now will you be kind enough to justify your existence? If you can't justify your existence, if you're not pulling your weight in the social boat, if you're not producing as much as you consume, or perhaps a little more, then clearly we cannot use the big organization of our society for the purpose of keeping you alive, because your life does not benefit us and it can't be of very much use.
So there you have it. In George Bernard Shaw's perfect world, Henry Higgins wouldn't have educated Eliza Doolittle. He would have had her dragged before a government tribunal and executed.
Yeah, George Bernard Shaw would have been the man. Stick it to the man!
Ugh. Well, we all knew that was coming, didn't we? But listen, Shaw's views get even worse.
In this 1935 clip, listen to what Shaw had to say about Adolf Hitler.
Well, you may take it from me that the news from Germany is the very best news that we have had since the war. Ever since 1918, we, like all the other powers, have been behaving just as badly as we possibly could. Well, now, when Germany was defeated, when Germany fell, they went and they sat on Germany's head. And they kept sitting on Germany's head, although it was quite evident to any sensible person that they couldn't go on like that forever. Then there came a very intelligent gentleman named Adolf Hitler, and he, knowing perfectly well that the powers would not fight, he snapped his fingers at the Treaty of Versailles. That was what got him a vote of 95% of the whole population of Germany, even including the very people whom he'd been treating rather hardly. Just exactly as if we in England had been in the same position, as if the powers had beaten us and sat on our heads. Then the first man who had the gumption to see that we might get up on our legs and defy all those old treaties, he would be the most popular man in England. There can be no peace in the world until there is peace between England, France, Germany, Russia, the United States, and all the big powers of the West. Now, take that home and think about it, and don't be frightened anymore about the Germans.
That blows my mind, man.
I know, right? I mean, that just goes to show you that even the brightest people could be conned into thinking that a lunatic who was bent on global domination could be Mr. Congeniality.
Which brings us to our featurette for the evening.
Oh, our featurette for tonight is a real treat. This comes from a 1954 program called Rheingold Theater. It's introduced by Douglas Fairbanks Jr., and it stars one of our favorite silent comedians, Buster Keaton, in a very rare dramatic role.
This show is about an average man living in a dystopian society ruled over by a totalitarian dictator.
It's about a man living in what?
He's living in a dystopian society ruled over by a totalitarian dictator.
That's what I thought you said. We hope you like this, because you'll see that this episode of Rheingold Theater, The Awakening, plays out like one of the best Twilight Zone episodes.
So here it is, from 1954, Buster Keaton starring in The Awakening.
Boy, Carita, you know. Dystopian society, totalitarian dictator. Are you sure you're Carita?
Pretty sure. And you know what else?
What?
Stand to the man!
Oh yeah, you're Carita, all right. All right, let's watch Buster Keaton in The Awakening.
Good evening, and welcome to our theater again. In this day and age, a name and a number in a card index file can imprison the mind and soul of a man every bit as thoroughly as handcuffs can confine his physical self. And that's why they serve as a theme for tonight's play. The setting of our story is, well, anywhere or nowhere. The time, yesterday, today, or in the tomorrows to come. The subject, what could happen when a man forgets the true meaning of freedom and sacrifices himself on the altar of regimentation? I'm very proud to present the famous comedian Buster Keaton, who, for the first time in his long career, plays a completely dramatic role. Also, we are fortunate in having James Hayter in a surprisingly different sort of part for him. The theme of Gogol's famous classic, The Cloak, has inspired a number of varied adaptations. And this new play of ours traces its origin to the same source. And now I'm very pleased to offer you The Awakening.
Attention, attention, attention. This is the State Diffusion Service. This is the State Diffusion Service. We remind you that all state entertainment programs will be interrupted at 1 o'clock today when the chief will speak to his people. The chief at 1 o'clock today. Attention, attention, attention. This is the State Diffusion Service. This is the State Diffusion Service. We remind you that all state entertainment programs will be interrupted at 1 o'clock today when the chief will speak to his people. The chief at 1 o'clock today.
Open up! Blazing hot. It's been burning for hours. Hours! Don't lie to me! Costs me more to light your room than all the other rooms put together. Well, everyone cheats me, everyone lies to me. Well, it's impossible. I can't even make my expenses anymore. What's the use? I wouldn't mind if you were doing something, well, something important. But wasting good electricity on this silly game.
Silly game? Silly game. Why, the Bureau of Records holds our world together. For the first time in history, every human want is numbered.
Understand me, I don't say a word against the regime or our blessed chief. Not one single word.
Naturally not.
It's just that, well, it's you I'm thinking about. Working night after night. Well, most men, when they have some time to spare, they will do all sorts of things. Going to the theater. They take out some silly girl. They visit each other. They play cards. They smoke a pipe.
I'm afraid I'm not what you call popular. 400,000 classifications. 400,000 serial numbers to remember. Think of that. One case in particular kept me awake half the night. It was that interesting.
Greetings, Fondor.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, it's cold outside.
You were telling me about that interesting case. You were telling me.
Oh, well, that woman, white, female, 34, 2 children, ill with typhoid, needed new serum to save their lives. Now, 9 out of 10 men in my department would have filed that 7935-M, which would have been absolutely wrong because...
It's one of the rumors. He's got a coat that's falling apart. It's the funniest thing you ever saw. Looks like a torn teddy bear.
Some people just don't have any manners. But the coat could do with some mending.
Well, I was thinking of dropping by my tailor. I'll do it at lunch. A patch here and a stitch there will look as good as new.
Of course.
I'd better be going.
Except that he looks so funny.
1 minute. What happened to the children?
Children?
The children who have been sick. Did they get the serum in time?
Oh, I haven't the slightest idea, but it was numbered correctly. It was 78362-J, not M. How could it possibly be M? And how would I know about the children? That would be another department. Why do you ask?
No reason at all. Don't forget your tailor at noon. Well,
Oh, is your husband the tailor in?
Do you see him?
No.
No, neither do I. Which means he's delivering a jacket, the sleeves of which he has lengthened. Which means he's sitting down with the owner of the jacket, having a long talk and a cheap cigar. Which means that he'll charge the owner of the jacket exactly half of what he should charge him. Which means that I shall have to go like a beggar this afternoon and try and get the rest of the money. Oh, wait. Who cares?
You haven't got your radio turned on. You're not listening to the chief's speech.
His speech? It's already time for his speech. Whatever's happened to this morning? I thought it was an hour away yet. Oh, I missed enough.
Every one of you are in my deepest thoughts. Not one of all the faithful millions who call me chief shall be forgotten. Of that you may be sure. Not an hour passes without some new exciting plan to bring my people a happier tomorrow.
Just fill the house.
When the last enemy is destroyed, when his body lies broken and bleeding under our steel, then you will see what your chief has planned for you. Our little tots will grow as fat and pink as sausages, and grandfather and grandmother, they shall bask in warm sunlight in the sunset of their lives.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Oh, I must have dozed off. What time is it? Well, it's past my lunch hour. I'll be late for work. Here. Fix this. I'll pick it up at 7 o'clock.
Wait. The coat can't be repaired anymore.
Well, what are you talking about? You've done it dozens of times.
There's nothing left to fix. Cut it up and use it for shoelaces. Look at the trash people bring me. What am I? A tailor or a magician?
Well, what's to be done?
You must have a new coat.
A new coat? Why, I hadn't figured on a new coat for at least 5 years. How much would a new coat cost?
I could make a nice coat for you for 200.
200? Oh, let's be sensible. I didn't come here for a new coat. I don't want a new coat. I don't expect miracles. Do the best you can.
Out of the question.
But don't you understand? I can't afford a new coat.
What's the matter?
Back to the kitchen.
I have hardly any money.
It will be such a fine coat. Corded frogs. Maybe even a little fur on the collar. I'll pour my heart into it. Do you know how long it's been since I worked on a new piece of material?
If I could only afford it.
It will be 3 months till the really cold weather starts. Cut your expenses to the bone.
How?
Do you send out your laundry? Buy a box of soap and do your own washing. Miss a few lunches every week. Instead of taking the bus or streetcar, couldn't you walk home from work? Do your heels wear out as fast as mine do? Added expense. Learn to walk only on your toes. Do you want a new coat or don't you? How much rent do you pay?
8?
Ask your landlord for a cut.
Landlady. No, she'd never do that. I use too much electricity already.
Let her take the lights out.
And live in darkness for the next 3 months.
Without a warm coat, you will never live through the winter. When can you come in for the first fitting?
like my new coat?
I can't believe it. It changes you so completely. You're handsome.
Isn't it incredible? You wouldn't even recognize him.
For one thing, he looks at least 10 years younger.
What's going on here? What is it? What's going on? Isn't there enough work here to keep you busy? Perhaps there are too many of you. Perhaps we could do with a few less.
I'm sorry, sir. It was my fault.
Oh, is it indeed? Well, my dear sir, may I ask what you mean by coming into my department and creating chaos?
Coming into your department? I work here.
You?
I can't believe it. It changes you so completely. You're handsome. Really handsome.
Age 43. Still an object? I believe you said it was just an overcoat.
Not just an overcoat. This was a very special overcoat. It had the finest material you
Overcoat. Well, I think that does it, sir.
Does it?
The report will be promptly filed and duly processed.
Yeah, but when do I get my overcoat back?
That's not my department, sir. You see, first it goes to the Bureau of Records for proper numbering.
And that would be 6397-T.
I beg your pardon?
That would be the correct number.
How do you know that?
Oh, I work in the Bureau of Records.
Then you should know the procedure.
Yeah, but my overcoat. I want my overcoat. I protest.
Did I understand you to say you protest?
Well, winter's here, and I've got an awful bad cold. And I've been so...
This gentleman protests.
You! Look at these. They're numbered all wrong. This is not how you used to do your work.
I'm sorry, sir.
Searching for the parents of an abandoned child. Since when was that a 35904-T?
Only 9 years old. Poor little lad.
Hmm?
It must be a lonely feeling to be left somewhere when you're only 9 and can't understand.
What difference does that make? Get it properly numbered. That's all you've got to worry about.
Yes, sir.
The only reason we took you back into this department is because you're supposed to be such an expert. And now, all these mistakes. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I really don't know. I guess it's because my overcoat was stolen.
Oh, the overcoat again. How many more times must I hear about the overcoat? Perhaps you'd feel warmer back in prison.
Won't nobody help me? Don't nobody care?
And so, citizen, when your pathetic letter was brought to my attention, when I saw to my horror all that you've suffered in trying to recover your overcoat, I felt tears of shame. Yes, shame sting my eyes. He cares. Is this but an idle boast? No. 10,000, 10 million no's. And to prove it once and for all, I have called you here today. And I'm having these words broadcast to the farthest frontiers of our land, so that all might know the living truth that I care. I do care for every one of my people. So what is to be done for this simple man, this decent man who is now the victim of every blast of winter wind? Are we to shrug our shoulders and say there is no solution for his sufferings? Let me cry out the answer for all to hear. No! For we have found a solution. Successful action has already been taken.
You found my overcoat?
You listening in. Did you hear him cry out, "You have found my overcoat"? Citizen, we have done much more than find your overcoat. We have struck a blow for all men who may lose an overcoat. We have taken vengeance upon those who would make a mockery of our credo, "He cares." The officials in charge of every department dealing with your case have been dismissed in disgrace, stripped of all power, totally and completely.
Your Excellency, Your Honor, what about my overcoat?
Tomorrow, dear friend, I assure you, you will receive a very different reception when you return to the various departments. And now this concludes my
You mean the Department of Investigation?
Yes.
The Department of Special Reports?
Of course.
And the Department of Emergency Welfare? And the Department of Re-Examination? And the Department of Evaluation?
Certainly, all the departments. And now, dear friends, this concludes.
And they'll still say my report has been properly filed and duly processed. You can keep dismissing them, stripping them of all power, disgracing them, and replacing them until the end of time, and it still won't get my overcoat back. And when I protest, they'll still throw me into prison, because it's not they. They're just part of a machine that was to give us so much happiness. This machine that reduces a broken heart to a number in a catalog that says a hungry child is nothing more than 26583-Y.
Stop him.
A machine that has made us forget what kindness, warmth, and pity means. When you say you care, you lie. You can't possibly care. None of us can care. We've forgotten how.
Stop him! Kill him!
This machine that has taken our souls.
No, wait. Listen.
So let the machine die with you. What have I done? What have I done?
And will bulge with all the good.
Wait off!
And so, dear friends, this concludes my report to you on my plans and hopes for a happier life.
This is the State Diffusion Service. You have been
Only a dream.
by our glorious chief.
What is it? What's wrong with you?
Oh, nothing. I'm all right. Fine.
All right. So now you have had your good sleep on the premises, so what you want?
It's past my lunch hour. I'll be late to work. Here. Fix this. I'll pick it up at 7 o'clock.
Wait. The coat can't be repaired anymore.
What?
There's nothing left to fix. Cut it up for shoelaces.
You said that before.
Look at the trash people bring me.
What would a new coat cost me?
I could make you a fine coat for 200.
With corded frogs.
Why not? Maybe even a little fur on the collar. I throw my heart into it. Do you know how long it's been since I worked on a new piece of material?
Oh, no.
What's bothering you? Without a warm coat, you will never live through the winter.
It wasn't a dream. It was a vision. A vision of what would happen if you made me the coat.
A vision? What are you jabbering?
Like in the dream. The coat would be stolen. And trying to get it back I would discover how rotten everything is, what a farce everything is, and would be thrown into prison. And in the end, like in the dream, I'd go to the palace and I'd...
What am I, a teeter or a magician?
Make me the coat.
Oh, boy. Doggone it. Wasn't Buster Keaton great in that show, Carita?
Wake up, Drac.
Huh?
Wake up.
What are you talking about? I said Buster Keaton was great in The Awakening.
Wake up, Drac.
Huh?
Wake up. Wake up.
Huh?
Wake up. Wake up, Drac. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up, Drac. Wake up. Drac, wake up. Wake up.
No. Ow. Oh. Carita, you're back.
What are you talking about, Dennis?
Nothing. Never mind. I didn't say anything. So how's the show going?
What are you talking about? We haven't even started yet.
Yes, we have.
No, we haven't. We're going to start right now.
Oh, come on.
And we're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2. You're on.
I'm Drac. She's Countess Carita. And welcome to Transylvania tonight.
We have a great show for you tonight with a movie starring one of our favorites, Bela Lugosi.
Oh, that's right, doggone it. It's a great movie, so we don't want to keep you waiting any longer than we have to. We're going to get to it right now. Here from 1940 is Bela Lugosi in The Devil Bat.
theory of glandular stimulation through electrical impulses was correct. A few days ago, you were as small as your companion. And now look at you.
Hello. This is Dr. Carita speaking.
Yeah, this is Heath. Henry Maud and I are having a little get-together at my home tonight. We want you to come.
Why, that's nice of you, and I appreciate it. But I'm very busy working on a formula for a new shaving lotion.
Oh, but Doc, this is my daughter's idea. And she's going to be awfully disappointed if you don't show up.
Don't take no for an answer. Make him come.
Yeah, you see, it's a sort of a special occasion.
I bet Mary is going to announce her engagement to that young rascal, Don Morton. Tell her I'll be there. Goodbye.
Well, it's all arranged. He's coming.
He's going to be surprised when he finds the special occasion is to present him with this bonus check.
$5,000.
you have not forgotten. You hate this strange oriental fragrance, even while you sleep. Just as you did before I made you big and strong. Now, if you detect the fragrance in the night, when you're fully awake, you will strike. Yes, you will strike to kill.
Well, Doc's late. Wonder if he's been called out on a case. Perhaps I'd better phone him. Now remember, Roy, Tommy, you're not to mention anything about this bonus for the Doc until after your father has presented it.
Have you warned those two lovebirds over there?
Perhaps I'd better. I want to caution both of you.
Not to say a word about the check.
Until you're ready to spring it on him.
Your father will make the presentation, Mary.
Why don't you unveil it, like a statue? Then we could all be in on it.
You know, I think it'd be a better idea to put it in a bottle and launch him with it.
You must have gotten that idea out of a bottle. Well, the Doc isn't coming. What?
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, he just got busy with his new formula and forgot all about us.
He'd forget the formula if he knew about that $5,000 check.
Well, why don't we all go up there and give it to him?
No, I wouldn't do that. He doesn't like visits when he's experimenting.
Well, Roy can take the check up to him.
Sure, I'll take it. Shall I make the Doc a speech when I give it to him?
You won't have to, Roy. The check speaks for itself.
Yeah, and says a mouthful. Son, tell the Doc we're awfully sorry he can't be with us, but of course we understand how busy he is.
All right.
Just a minute, Roy, and I'll be with you. That's it, all right. Now, what can I do for you?
We were all sorry you couldn't be there tonight.
Yes, but you see, I'm busy. Something important, very important.
Yes, of course. Mr. Morton and Dad had planned a little surprise for you.
A surprise?
It's in here.
Well, let's see what it is. $5,000. What's this for?
Just a little token of the firm's appreciation.
Oh, I see. A bonus. Well, it's awfully nice of you, Father and Mr. Morton. I will thank them personally tomorrow.
I'll tell them, Doctor.
Well, aren't you curious about my new formula?
Yes, of course, only I didn't want to be inquisitive. What is it?
A new shaving lotion. Smell it.
Pretty strong, isn't it?
No. The scent evaporates a short time after you've used it. Try a few drops. Now rub it on the tender part of your neck. Here. Soothing, isn't it?
Yes. When will it be ready for the market?
Oh, it's still in the experimental stage. I want to try it out on several people first and see if it works.
Well, if you'd like to send me a bottle, I'll be glad to try it for you.
Thanks.
Good night, Doctor.
Goodbye, Roy.
Lovely check, isn't it, Doctor? They are wealthy because of you. You made them rich, Doctor. It was your formula. Tonight they gave you $5,000 and wanted you to come down to their house and thank them for it. That was your money they gave you, like a bone tossed to a faithful dog. You should be very grateful, Doctor. Very grateful. They are rich and happy, thanks to you. And what have you got, Doctor?
Tonight you have work to do. It's time you were on your way.
Tonight's a good time while our families are here to announce our engagement.
Look, Don, I've loved you a long time, ever since we were kids. But I'm afraid it's been more like a sister.
Well, I had no idea you felt that way.
I better call Dr. Carruthers.
Oh, please hurry.
There's nothing I can do.
You mean he's dead?
Yes, I better call the coroner.
You think it's murder?
I don't know. I never saw anything like it before. The jugular vein is severed.
Send Johnny Layton in here.
Well, what have I done now? Who wants me fired this time?
Nobody yet, but it's still early. This came in from Heathville. It's a mystery killing. Old Martin Heath's son.
Who's Martin Heath?
Who's Martin Heath? Say, have you ever had a date with a girl?
A girl? Oh, yes, a girl. I believe I did take a girl out once.
Well, did she smell sweet?
Of course she smells sweet. Most girls do.
Well, that's because of Martin Heath Cosmetics Limited. They make all that goo that the women put on their faces so they won't have to wash them with soap and water.
I get it. A big man, huh?
Yes, and a big advertising account. Grab yourself a photographer and get along over there to Heathville. The coroner's holding an inquest. Find out who really killed old man Heath's son.
Okay, McGinty, I'm on my way. Chief Wilkins?
Yeah?
I'm Johnny Layton of the Chicago Register.
Glad to see you.
And this is my cameraman, One Shot McGuire.
Hi, Chief.
Howdy.
Say, we're down here to cover that Heath murder, but we didn't get much information at the coroner's inquest. I thought maybe you might be able to help us.
Well, I'm always glad to cooperate with the newspapers, providing they cooperate with me.
That's the policy of our paper.
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't got very far with this thing myself. Oh, here's something that might interest you. It's a picture of the victim's wounds. You'll be able to see it better with this glass.
Are these scratches on the neck and shoulders?
Yes, but we can't determine the source. They're too deep for fingernails, too shallow to have been made by a knife. They're more like claws.
That sort of bears out Dr. Carruthers' theory at the inquest of a wild animal. Have there been any circuses around here lately?
No.
Heard of any animal escaping from a zoo?
No.
Couldn't have been one of those African leopard men. They use steel claws.
This isn't Africa.
Okay, Chief, I was just trying to help.
Chief, are you sure there's no clue you're holding back while investigating?
Well, since you're going to work with me on this case, there is a clue, and a very weird one. The autopsy surgeon says that such wounds could have been made by the beak and talons of a bird.
A bird? Why, there aren't any birds around here big enough to attack a man.
How about an eagle?
We know it wasn't a bird.
How do you know that?
Because we found several hairs on the shoulder of Heath's coat.
Ah, Cherchez la femme.
They're not human hairs.
What kind are they?
Well, it may sound silly, but the laboratory test shows that they were from a mouse.
Well, who ever heard of a mouse big enough to kill a man?
Say, a bat has hair like a mouse.
Well, the only bats around here are no bigger than sparrows. There was a peculiar odor about the wounds, but they were so faint and elusive that the police chemists have been unable to identify it.
Then it does give us something to work on.
Well, if the scent was a clue, it's been destroyed by evaporation.
Say, Chief, do you mind if I do a little sleuthing around on my own account?
Certainly not. Go ahead. If I can help you any, why...
You can. Miss Heath seems to be the nearest to an eyewitness of the crime. I'd like to have a talk with her. Can you arrange it?
I think I can.
Well, Dr. Crothers refused to let her speak to us. We tried that this morning at the inquest.
Well, don't you worry about Dr. Carruthers. He's one of the finest men in Heathville. He just thought you'd add to Mary's grief so you could get sensational newspaper stories. I'll arrange an interview.
Thanks, Chief. I'll keep in touch with you.
All right. 48J.
Miss Heath, did your brother have any enemies that you know of?
Why, no. Everybody in the village liked Roy.
Mm-hmm. Well, what did he do at the factory?
He had charge of the experimental department where the new products are developed. Oh, here comes Dr. Crothers. Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Mary. I took a shortcut from my laboratory through a garden hedge.
You met Dr. Crothers at the inquest this morning.
Yes. Mr. Layton, I hope you'll forgive me if I seemed a little abrupt. But I'm fond of Mary. And considering the ordeal she already went through, I wanted to protect her from dwelling too much on a tragedy.
Of course. You were quite right.
We're working on the case with the police now.
Yes, I understand. Chief Wilkins phoned me. And if I can be of any assistance, just call on me.
Thanks.
Won't you sit down?
Shall I serve, mademoiselle?
No, Maxine, I'll do it. You may go now.
Oui, mademoiselle.
Do you take sugar, Mr. McGuire?
Huh? Oh, no, ma'am, never. In fact, I don't even take tea. If you'll just deal me out, I'll take a look around. I may dig up a clue.
What do you think of Dr. Crothers' theory about a wild animal, Mr. Layton?
Well, frankly, I don't think much of it.
I can't say that I blame you. But I, as a scientist, take many things into consideration a layman might overlook.
For instance?
The jagged nature of the wound, the rapidity with which the murderer escaped, the scratches from talons or claws.
But when an animal attacks a human, there's bound to be a lot of noise. You heard Miss Heath testify there was no sound of a struggle.
No. Only those awful screams.
It's very puzzling, very mystifying.
Doctor, when you last saw Roy, did he seem worried or nervous or moody?
No, not at all. On the contrary. He was in the best of spirits.
Well, I've got to get back to the village now and follow my story. You'll excuse me?
If you find it necessary for us to talk again, you may come back at any time.
This evening, if it's all right with you. I'd like to spend some time here.
Why, yes, that'll be quite all right.
Thank you. Goodbye, Miss Heath.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Doctor.
A little more chiffon, baby.
I do not understand.
Oh, you know what I mean. A little more of your stocking.
Like these?
Sure, I like 'em. Who wouldn't? Now, hold nice and still, because this is going to take a little time.
Well, if you're going to shoot, shoot.
Right away, Johnny. I was just trying to get the focus.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. And not bad, either. I'll be back in a minute, Frenchie. And don't worry none about those werewolves. Because nothing's going to harm you while I'm around here.
You make Maxine feel so calm. My big, brave journalist.
This is my idea of nothing at all. Sitting here waiting for an animal to give us an argument. Look at that moon. And I had a date with Frenchie.
Oh, stop crabbing. We're supposed to solve a murder. You,
Big, brave journalist.
This is the first time I've ever been invited anywhere and asked not to shave until after I get there.
I wanted to observe your exact reaction when you tried the lotion.
Oh, now I understand.
I want this lotion to be perfect before turning it over to you to be marketed. Here.
It's a little strong. That'll make the customers think they're getting their money's worth. Oh, that feels great. Very soothing.
I don't think you ever use anything else.
Well, we wouldn't want to market anything we wouldn't use ourselves. That almost smells good enough to be used as a cologne. Oh, what's the matter, Doc? Can't you stand your own lotion?
I have a violent dislike for perfumes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, Tommy.
Good night, Doc.
Goodbye, Tommy.
Something's moving.
Come on out of there, whoever you are. What are you doing out here, Miss Heath?
I thought you might want some company. Shall we sit down?
You know, you shouldn't be wandering around the garden at night after what's happened.
Neither should you.
Well, but it's part of my job.
Mine, too. Roy was my brother. Be careful, I think it's Tommy.
Hello, Tommy.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Tommy.
Darling.
What's up, sis?
Mr. Layton wanted to stay in the garden for a while, so I joined him.
Don't tell me you're waiting for that animal Dr. Carruthers mentioned.
So you don't believe it either?
I certainly do not. It's ridiculous.
But somebody or something killed your brother.
And I suppose you're working on the theory that the murderer always returns to the scene of the crime.
Perhaps I am.
Well, not for me. If you'll take my advice, Mary, you'll leave these gentlemen to their vigil and go to bed. That's what I'm going to do. Good night.
Good night, Tommy. I don't think your brother likes my being here.
Oh, you mustn't mind Tommy. We're all terribly upset.
I know.
Tommy!
Come on.
But I'm telling you, McGinty, it was a bat. I saw it kill Tommy Heath.
Listen, Johnny, I want you in one shot to come on home or I'll fire both of you.
I'm not coming home, and neither is One Shot. I'm keeping him here to get a picture of the devil bat. Say, that'll look great in the headlines. Devil bat strikes again.
Listen, don't tell me it had horns. Maybe I better send a wagon with the steel bars and the strong boys with the straitjackets.
Look, Joe, have I ever lied to you?
Plenty of times.
Well, I'm not lying this time. If it ever got out that I cooked up a fake story about a devil bat, I wouldn't be able to get a job on a country weekly. Print the story, Joe. So help me, it's on the level.
All right, I'll print it. But I won't believe it not till One Shot gets me a picture of that devil bat in action.
Don't worry, he'll get it. Goodbye. You, my friend, are going to get a shot of the devil bat in action.
Who, me? How?
Have you noticed there's a taxidermist shop in the village?
Well, you wouldn't suggest that I go out and stuff a bird, would you?
One Shot. To think that you'd even hint that I would suggest you have the village taxidermist build you a nice big bat for pictorial purposes. Besides, a bat isn't a bird, it's a mammal.
Well, why didn't you say so in the first place? Where is this bird stuffing emporium? Oh, down on Cottage Grove Avenue. Now, here's the idea, Frenchie. You hang on to the bat till I get my camera set up. And when I raise my hand, you give the bat a good shove, and it'll swing out just like it's flying. Then I can get a swell picture from my boss. Get it?
Oui. I am wise, no?
No. But hang on to the bat until I raise my hand, huh?
Sherry, are you hurt?
Say, what's the idea of breaking up my devil bat? I'm going to make you pay for that.
And I'm going to take you to jail until you explain this. Come on.
You can't do this to me.
I'm doing it.
I was just conducting a little experiment, trying to find out how the devil bat does his killing.
I'm sure McGuire didn't intend doing anything wrong. He's just a little overzealous about his work.
Yeah, with the town in an uproar, and everybody terror-stricken, wondering whether he's going to be the next victim, I don't want any more trouble stirred up, even with an artificial bat.
You'd better get back to the hotel. I want to talk to the chief alone.
Is it all right, Chief?
Yeah, but be careful in the future.
Ever smelled anything like this before?
Well, yes. That's the same stuff that's been on every one of the devil bat's victims. Where'd you get it?
Found it in Don Morton's bathroom.
Find out where Morton got it?
No, I didn't want to arouse suspicion by asking questions till after it's been analyzed.
Do you think it has any connection with the murders?
That's the way it strikes me, but I can't figure out how.
I'll get the police chemist on it right away.
I'll snoop around and see if I can find out where Morton got it.
Well, it probably came from down at the Heath Cosmetic plant. I've men working on a theory of a disgruntled factory employee committing the crimes.
It's certainly more than coincidental that all the victims have been members of the Heath and Morton families.
Yeah. Looks like a plot to wipe them all out.
I wish the rest of them would leave town until this crime is solved.
You're worried about Mary, aren't you?
Well, yes. I've been urging her to leave, but she won't go without her father. And he insists on remaining here to help clear up the crime.
And worse than that, neither Heath nor Morton will let me give them a bodyguard.
I guess we'll just have to wait for something to break. Good night, Chief.
Good night, Johnny.
I'm Drac, and this is the Borgo Pass Report, Lab Edition. In our top story tonight, whoa, looks like we got breaking news. For more on this, we go to our Countess Carita. Carita?
Thanks, Dennis.
Sure.
Black Lab.
That was it?
Yes, that was a black lab. Would you like to see him again?
No, that's okay.
Okay, but if you do want to see him again, just let me know.
I'll keep that in mind. In our top story tonight, we're learning that Dr. Moreau has successfully turned animals into hybrid men on his secret island in his laboratory. These animal men can run faster, jump higher, and have 10 times the strength of an average man. In a related story, Dr. Moreau has announced he is opening a sports agency and will be negotiating contracts with Major League Football, basketball, and baseball over the coming weeks. Whoa! Looks like we got breaking news. For more on this, we go to our Countess Carita. Carita?
Thanks, Drac.
Sure.
Golden Lab.
In our next story, looks like we got breaking news. And for more on this news, we go to our Countess Carita. Carita?
Thanks, Drac.
Hmm?
Chocolate Lab.
Thanks, Carita.
You're welcome, Dennis.
Sure. For our next story, we go to our Mr. Renfield at the Seward Sanitarium. More breaking news?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Go ahead.
Lab puppies.
Carita. Oh, you're smiling. Well, knock it off, okay? I don't want to see any more pictures of Labradors. I don't want to see any pictures of chocolate labs, black labs, golden labs, a litter of lab puppies, okay? Because this news broadcast is not about Labradors, okay? When I said it was Lab Edition, okay, that was laboratory. You know, like where mad scientists work, where they take pieces of the dead and sew them together and make a monster man out of them, or where they'll bombard a tarantula and he grows up into be a giant tarantula, okay? Or where you develop a cologne that you can give to your enemies and you train a devil bat to chase your enemy down in the night and rip out his throat. Got it?
Okay.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay. For our next story, we go to our Mr. Renfield at the Seward Sanitarium. Are you there, Renfield?
I'm here, Master.
Do you have a laboratory story for us tonight, Renfield?
I do. I recently came into possession of Dr. Jekyll's notebook with the recipe for his famous brew.
You have?
I have. And I've made some of it. And I'm going to try it right now.
And you're going to try it live on the air?
I am.
Whoa, how cool is that? Thanks, Renfield.
I knew we could count on you to give us a good lab story, Renfield.
You're welcome, Master. Are you ready for me to drink it?
Ready when you are.
Okay, then here goes. Bottoms up.
How do you feel, Renfield?
I feel calm and relaxed.
Really? Well, I would have thought Dr. Jekyll's potion would have made you anything but relaxed. I mean, it's supposed to bring out the violent, evil side of you.
I didn't find Dr. Jekyll's potion, Master.
Isn't that what you said?
No, I found his recipe for his favorite brew.
Brew?
Yes, brew. It's Dr. Jekyll's favorite tea. It's chamomile. Very soothing and relaxing. Nighty-night, Master. Night, Countess.
Okay. Thanks, Renfield. Nighty-night, little fella. Well, that's all the time we have for this. Uh-oh! Whoa! Looks like we finally got some breaking newses. For more on this, we go to our Countess Carita. Toots?
Kitties!
Well, that's all the time we have for this time. We'll see you next time on the Borgo Pass Report. Kitties?
Kitties!
Why?
Because I like kitties.
But why would you show us kitties at the end of the news broadcast?
Well, you told me not to show you any more pictures of labs.
You know, somehow that makes sense to me.
And now, here's an editorial comment from the Borgo Pass news director, Draucho.
Draucho here, the Borgo Pass news director with an editorial comment. Why, what's all this hubbub I'm hearing about labs, bub? Don't you know labs can be our best friends? I'm sure many of you do, especially if you're anything like me. If you're anything like me, and I know some of you are, so don't lie about it, many's the night you're up 4, 5, 6 times going to the bathroom. And while you're standing there, minding your own business, you feel that burning, itching sensation. Well, what are you to do? The next morning you call and make an appointment with the urologist. You go to the urologist, you give him a sample, and if it's really bad, he'll scream. Why, I've even known one to cry. But regardless of whether he screams or cries, he has to get the test results. So he sends off the sample to the lab. Why, you know, if it hadn't been for labs, I probably would have lost my nose by now. Ah, yes, labs. They're getting such a bad reputation just because some screwball in the South Pacific used his island lab to turn animals into men. Why, that's only fair play. Turnabout's fair play. Because you know, if you believe in Darwinism, that man evolved from the animals. And I'm pretty sure that once he did, he reverted to being an animal again. And if we could talk to the first woman he dated, I'm pretty sure we could prove it in a court of law. But let's leave the law out of this. Which brings me to the thing I'm most grateful to labs about. What is that? Why, it's my lab coat. Why, if it weren't for my lab coat, I wouldn't be able to convince all of those Scandinavian bikini models that I'm a doctor. Which takes us back to my point about going to the urologist with that burning, itching sensation. Because you know those Scandinavian bikini models, they're not all they're cracked up to be. Take it to heart. Or take it to the urologist. Just make sure he sends it off to a lab. I'm Groucho, the Borgo Pass News Director, and this has been my editorial comment. The doctor is out.
This has been an editorial comment from the Borgo Pass News Director, Groucho.
Boy, have I got a picture that'll knock McGinty dead. Meet the double bat.
Well, how about that wire? Looks as if the bat's on a flying trapeze.
Oh, but I'm not through working on it yet. See, I can touch this picture up so the bat will look like he's got nothing around him but nothing.
Okay, Rembrandt, you win. This is your news commentator, Walter King. Tonight we're broadcasting from the little village of Heathville, where an alleged devil bat has claimed 3 victims during the past 6 weeks. You will note that I say alleged devil bat. That, ladies and gentlemen, is because your correspondent has been very skeptical from the start as to the existence of this horrendous creature. I have as my guest in the studio tonight Professor Percival Garland Rains, perhaps the world's greatest authority on animal life. I'm going to interview Professor Rains on the subject of the devil bat. Our radio audience may draw its own conclusions. Professor Rains, first let me ask you, point blank, do you believe that any such creature as the devil bat exists?
I do not.
He's got a nerve.
Quiet.
In the dark ages, when men and women lived in caves, there may have existed a bat of this size. But not in this day and age.
How do you account for the fact that Mary Heath, whose 2 brothers were victims of the devil bat, and a newspaper reporter, John Layton, claim to have seen this amazing creature?
Sometimes under stress of excitement, our minds play tricks on us.
He's insinuating you saw the little bat that wasn't there.
Pipe down. But how about the picture of the devil bat published by Mr. Layton's paper?
I examined that picture under a powerful magnifying glass. I denounce it as a fraud. Whoever constructed the strange-looking monster forgot to remove a label from the silk used on its left wing. That label reads, "Made in Japan."
Put through a hurry call to Heathville. I want to talk to Johnny Layton. He's at the Heathville Hotel.
One guess who that is.
Yeah, McGinty.
Go ahead, pour it on.
So you slipped over a fake picture on me, huh? Well, you're fired, both of you. And I'll see to it that you never work on another newspaper as long as I live. Made in Japan. You tell One-Shot McGuire he ought to be snapping photos in a booby hatch. Both of you, come on in and get your final checks.
Oh, no, we're not coming in to get anything. All right, so we're fired, but we're staying here just the same. I saw that bat.
We're going to stay here till we catch that bat, and when we do, I'm going to bring it in and stuff it down your throat. Goodbye.
Well, we're fired.
Again. That's him calling back to apologize. Now, you give him a good scare.
No use begging us to go to work for you again, McGinty. You fired us and we're staying fired. Oh, Mary, I thought it was somebody else.
Johnny, why did you make a joke of a tragic thing like this?
But it wasn't intended as a joke, Mary. I was only trying to get the news.
I suppose you call it getting the news when you arrange to print a picture. That's a deliberate hoax. That has the entire country laughing. A grand joke, Johnny. But somehow I can't appreciate it.
But I can explain that picture.
Don't try, Johnny.
Made in Japan. I ought to skin you alive and nail your hide to a barn door.
Here's the chemist report on that shaving lotion.
I see he couldn't break down one of the ingredients.
Yes, he said it must be some element with which he's not familiar.
We won't get anywhere until we identify it.
There's just one other man in this town that might be able to help us. Dr. Carruthers.
Yeah, Carruthers could help us. I found out he compounded that lotion.
Well, if you suspect Carruthers, you're barking up the wrong tree, Johnny. He's the last man in this town that would harm anyone. Why, everybody loves him.
Maybe so. But here's something else I dug up. The Heath and Morton fortunes are based on a greaseless cold cream formula Dr. Carruthers invented.
So what?
All the doctor got out of it was $10,000, and the others made a fortune.
Well, it's common knowledge that he sold out for cash when he could have had an interest in the firm.
Just the same, every victim had this stuff from his laboratory on him.
Maybe you've been working too hard on this case, Johnny.
I'd like to get his reaction on the stuff. If he denies knowing anything about it, we'll know there's a tie-up somewhere.
I think you're balmy. But just to show you that I'm following up every clue, we'll talk to him.
We'll, put this in another bottle, and without telling him we know he compounded it, ask him to analyze it.
Doc, I hope we're not upsetting your work barging in on you this way.
No, not at all. I'm anxious to help solve these crimes. All the victims were very dear friends of mine.
Here's a sample of the stuff young Morton and the two Heath boys had on them when they were attacked by the devil bat.
Of course, it doesn't make sense to me that a bird would choose only people using that particular stuff.
A bat is not a bird. It's a mammal.
Well, anyway, our police chemist couldn't break down one of the ingredients. We thought perhaps you could.
Why, I compounded this myself. It's a new shaving lotion I'm experimenting with. The ingredient your chemist couldn't break down, I discovered years ago in Tibet.
How did you happen to put it in a shaving lotion?
Oh, the lamas use it in some of their religious rites as a perfume. The scent is very pleasant and can't be imitated by competitors.
But what were Don Morton and the two Heath boys doing with the stuff?
Oh, it is the policy of our firm to try out any new product before marketing it.
Well, that knocks our theory into a cocked hat.
Yeah. We were hoping the unknown ingredient might turn out to be some sort of a clue.
This isn't the kind of bottle I give it out in, but I presume your chemist changed it when making the analysis.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can do to help?
Tell me, did you hear Professor Raines on the radio last night?
Yes. It was very interesting and very asinine.
You mean you believe there is a devil bat?
Why not? You saw it, didn't you?
Well, sure I did. So did Mary.
Then why worry about what one scientist says?
That one scientist got me fired.
Oh, you mean your newspaper discharged you?
That's right.
Oh, that's too bad. Then you're believing Heathville before the mystery's solved.
I'm afraid not. I'm going to stay here and work with the chief.
Since you're going to stay here for a while, I would like you to try out a bottle of the new lotion and tell me how you like it. And you too, Chief.
No, not me, Doc. If my wife ever smelled perfume on me, she'd suspect me sure.
Well, Mr. Layton, I understand you are not married.
All right, I'll try it in the morning when I shave. I guess we better be going, Chief.
See you later, Doc.
So long, Dr. Carruthers.
Goodbye, Mr. Layton.
What's the matter?
Does that smelly shaving lotion put you to sleep?
Oh, why'd you tell the doc you're going to use it if you think it's smelly?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I was a little ashamed of ever suspecting the old duck.
Well, I like it, and I'm going to tell him so. What time is it?
After midnight.
Midnight? Oh, they ain't no use of waiting around here any longer. This must be the bat's night off.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Get that camera ready.
You got him. Listen, Johnny, I'm going to cook that bird personally for McGinney, and I'll even stuff it myself.
Skeptical when I came to Heathville today to examine the body of this so-called devil bat. But after seeing it personally and making exhaustive research, I've arrived at the conclusion that the creature is the lone survivor of a type of giant bat which existed in great numbers during the early part of the Neolithic age. Perhaps I should explain for the benefit of some of our listeners that the Neolithic age is that period of antiquity commonly called the Stone Age.
Imbecile, bombastic ignoramus.
McGinty, but One Shot and I are not interested. At your prices. Of course, if there was a raise of, say, $30 plus a fat bonus, we might consider it.
You're hold-up men, both of you. I refuse to be robbed.
Have it your way, McGinty. Have it your way. But we have the bat's corpus delicti and the exclusive picture. Of course, I've got an eyewitness story that 2 syndicates are bidding for.
And don't forget, you got to pay us for the time we were fired.
That's better. Now you're talking, boss. Okay, we're working for you again. We'll gather up the loose ends and see you in a couple of days. Goodbye. Come in.
Hello, Johnny.
Well, Mary.
Johnny, I came to tell you that I'm sorry I said what I did the last time we talked. Do you suppose... well, I don't know how to say it, but...
I do.
Miss Heath, do you suppose that little French girl would apologize to me if I looked her up?
Positive she would.
Splendid. You will be even greater than your unfortunate predecessor. Enraged, aren't you? Fine. I'm enraged also. Tonight I shall call on Henry Morton, and you shall strike him down. Henry, the lotion has turned out to be better than I had hoped. I want you to try it.
Well,
Well, just leave it here, Doc, and I'll try it in the morning after shaving.
Smells good, doesn't it?
Yes, but isn't it too strong?
No, no, no. Evaporation quickly tones it down just to the right scent. Rub a few drops on your face.
Well, I'd rather wait until after I shave. Then my skin will be more tender and receptive to a lotion.
Just a little here. The texture of the skin there is always very delicate. I give you a few drops in your hand.
I hope you're right about that scent evaporating quickly. I smell the high heavens.
Perhaps that will be the secret of its success.
Well, you can never tell what's going to happen in this business.
You can believe me, Henry. You don't have to worry.
Yes, I can believe that, Doc. All of your formulas have been highly successful. Oh, I've been going over the report of the company's annual earnings. A net profit of over $1 million. Not bad, eh? When you remember what we built on. A mere $10,000 for your formula. You shouldn't have demanded all cash, Doc. You should have ridden along with us. Then you'd be rich, too. Oh, but then you've had a lot of fun in your laboratory with your experiments, dreaming up something new. You're a dreamer, Doc. Too much money is bad for dreamers.
So you try to pay me in flattery, telling me that I'm a dreamer. Well, I do dream. Dreams that you could never guess.
Your nerves are frayed, Doc. Now calm down. Get a grip on yourself. You've been working too hard on your formula.
Formula. That's but child's play for a great scientist. Your brain is too feeble to conceive what I have accomplished in the realm of science.
Doc, you've made some great scientific discovery. What is it?
When you'll find out, Henry, it'll be too late for you.
Oh, come, Doc. You can't pretend to control a man's destiny.
I've already proved it 3 times. I'm sorry. Perhaps you're right, Henry, about my working too hard. I guess I'm a little tired. I better go home and get some rest.
Sure. A night's sleep will do you good. Good night, Doc.
Goodbye, Henry.
.36J.
Hello?
Oh, that's you, Martin?
Yes, Henry.
I want you to call Chief of Police Wilkins to come to your house immediately. It's very important.
Chief's here now.
Well, don't let him leave until I get there.
What on earth's happened?
I think I've got a clue to all those murders. It may peter out, but if half what I suspect is true, it's the most diabolical plot that a madman ever concocted.
What is it?
Talk about the absent-minded professor. I forgot my hat.
Henry, what is it?
I'll tell you all about it when I get there.
I hope I didn't intrude on a private conversation.
No, nothing important.
I hope Henry was right about having a clue. But why didn't he explain more about it when he phoned?
When I insisted, he changed his tone as if he'd been interrupted. I was afraid that he might be overheard. What is that squeaky sound? Oh, just some night noise.
Help!
I feel much better, Mr. Heath, since you asked us to stay in your home until this new devil bat has been killed. I've been worried about Mary.
What reason have you to believe that Mary is in danger?
Only this. I'm convinced that someone is using the bat to wipe out the entire Heath and Morton families.
As a scientist, I assure you, the thought of a human controlling a bat is fantastic.
Just the same, no villager's been killed or even attacked.
You're forgetting, aren't you, that Mr. McGuire was attacked. He's not a member of either family.
Why, I'm practically a member of this family already. I'm going to marry Miss Heath's maid.
Oh, really? Well, boys, I'll have Maxine show you to your rooms.
I must be running along home. It's past my bedtime. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night,
Good night, Martin.
Good night,
Good
Doc.
night, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mary.
Come along. Maxine?
Oui, mademoiselle.
Did you fill my perfume bottles with something new?
Oh, no, mademoiselle. I never touch your perfume.
It's funny. I don't recognize it. Perhaps Dad filled them as a surprise. He always does that with every new perfume the plant puts out.
Is there anything else?
No, Maxine, that's all. Good night.
Good night, mademoiselle.
Mary, what happened?
It was trying to get in the window. A big bat. Oh, it was awful.
Mary, I want you to tell me everything you did just before that bat tried to get in.
Well, first I took a bath. Then I brushed my hair, and Maxine came in and turned the covers down. And then fastened the screen, which somehow had come unhooked.
Yeah? Go ahead, what else?
Well, then we talked about some new perfume that someone had put in my dressing table bottles. Dad, did you put any new perfume in my bottles?
No, I didn't.
Is this the stuff?
Yes.
Tony, this smells like...
Hey, quiet. I've got a hunch that I want to follow up, and I'll need everybody's cooperation.
We'll do everything we can.
Of course.
What's Carruthers' number?
48J.
Operator, give me 48J, please. Hello, Dr. Carruthers. This is Johnny Layton. That's right. Something terrible has happened to Mary. Can you hurry over?
I'll be right there.
Good.
Oh, Johnny, I'm all right. I don't need a doctor.
That's where the cooperation part comes in, Mary. You'll have to pretend to be a nervous wreck. Mr. Heath, you in one shot must help her trick Dr. Carruthers into staying here as long as you can.
Where are you going, Johnny?
To, do a little private bat hunting.
The devil bat tried to get through that window.
If she's suffering from fright, I give her a sedative. Where's Mr. Layton?
Why, I guess he's out in the garden hunting the devil bat.
Layton is a very brave young man. Give Miss Heath one of these every half an hour.
Oui, Doctor.
It will quieten her nerves.
But, Doc, hadn't you better stay until she's quieter?
She'll be all right in the morning.
Hey, Doc, I don't feel so good myself. Would you mind taking my temperature?
You look perfectly well, Mr. McGuire.
Well, you ought to see my tongue. It looks just like a squirrel's tail. Look.
Try some calomel. We may have visitors tonight, and it would be dangerous for me if they found you here.
Hi, Doc. I hope I'm not intruding.
No, not at all. I heard you were out stalking the devil bat. Any success?
No, but I thought maybe you might be able to help me.
Well, I don't see how that's possible, but if you can suggest anything...
Well, you could give me some more of that new concoction of yours, that shaving lotion.
But how on earth could that possibly help catch the devil bat?
I've still got a crazy idea that if I douse myself with it, it might attract the killer.
I don't see how you can connect the two. But there is a bottle of the lotion on the table.
Thanks. You see, Doc, I figured out something. All four of the murdered people had this lotion on them when the devil bat struck. Now, my plan is to sit in the garden, and when the killer makes one of those power dives, I'll blast him.
Leighton, I'm afraid all these murders have affected your mind.
Maybe you'd like to come along, Doc, and be an eyewitness.
I'm sure it would be just a waste of time, but I'd be glad to watch your experiment.
Good. I knew I could count on you to help me.
I tell you, Leighton, expecting a bat to be attracted by the scent of a lotion is all foolishness. I think I better run around.
Ah, sit down, Doc. The devil bat's behind schedule tonight. You aren't very chummy tonight. What's the matter?
Firearms always make me nervous.
Oh, I thought maybe you didn't want to be sitting too close to me. Just in case the devil bat does show up.
According to your theory, the killer wouldn't attack me. I haven't any of that lotion on me.
You have now, Doc.
Why did you do that?
To make it a 50-50 proposition, Doc. Now sit down, and don't try any shenanigans. Not so funny when it's your own jugular vein that's in danger. Is it, Doc?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe you made a mistake when you let that devil bat of yours out of the attic tonight. Don't worry about the bat killing you. I'm saving you for the hangman. Tell me, Doc, how did you develop a monster bat like that?
You wouldn't understand the scientific theory.
Chief, what are you doing out here?
Young fellow, don't think that you're the only man working on this case. And it was lucky I was here, too.
Thanks. Did you kill the devil bat?
No, he got away.
Well, here's one bird that didn't get away, and he's the murderer we've both been looking for. Quick, shoot it! Where is it?
It's gone.
And so's the doctor.
Did you get the bat?
What happened? Doc Carruthers is the murderer, and he's hiding somewheres in the garden.
You fellas get back to the house and guard Mary. Come on.
Doctor! Dr. Carruthers! Doctor! Has anything happened to Johnny? Is he hurt?
They took him up to my place. You better come along with me.
That was Mary. Are you all right, Mary?
Go help Dr. Carruthers. He's over there.
That devil bat belonged to the doctor, Mary. He created it to commit those murders.
Well, it's too late to help the doc.
Well, that's our show for tonight.
We hope you liked it.
We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, fly right.
Speaking of flying, that show flew right by.
What do you mean?
I mean, the show flew right by.
What are you talking about? Well, we're getting ready to do the show right now, Carita.
We are?
Yeah, sure. Wake up, Carita. Carita, wake up.
What?
It's time to do the show, Carita. Wake up. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, wake up. Wake up, Carita. Wake up.
What's going on?
Well, we're about to start the show, and you've been asleep. Wake up.
I wasn't asleep.
Oh, yes, you were. And we're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm Drac. She's Countess Carita. And welcome to Transylvania tonight.
You're gonna play games with me, huh? Well, guess what? Watch this.
Oh, no!
Resist!
Oh, what have I done?
Power to the people. Make love, not war. Give peace a chance.
No, go back to sleep, Carita. Go on, go back to sleep. Rock-a-bye, Carita, in the treetop. Go on, go back to sleep, Carita.
Stick it to the man!
No! Nothing, Carita. I must have fallen asleep. I was having a nightmare.
Well, we're about to start the show.
Huh? Again?
We're getting ready to start the show now.
All right. I'm Drac. She's Countess Carita. And welcome to Transylvania tonight.
I could keep this up all night long.
Keep what up?
Oh, nothing.
Do you know what she's talking about? Do you?
Transylvania Tonight is a Fly Right production.